Hello. So the individual I met with is of the Hispanic culture. She is in her mid-30s, married, 5 kids, and she speaks 3 languages fluently: Spanish, English, and Hopi, which is a Native American language, part of a Native American tribe, the Hopi tribe. And a bit of her background, she's getting her master's in child psychology, and when asked if at any point in her life she ever felt stereotyped in any way based on gender, culture, anything at all, she said that if she did, she never paid any attention to it. That's not something she focused on, so she personally never felt it, but the certain things that she does notice, like in particular, she talked about one time when she was at the grocery store and the young man bagging her groceries, who was also of Hispanic descent, automatically just started speaking to her in Spanish, assuming that she herself spoke it just because she was also Hispanic. And she felt, just because she is Hispanic does not necessarily mean that she knows how to speak it, so she found that to be interesting. And that can occur, just because someone looks a certain way does not mean that they automatically, know how to do like a certain thing. Like if someone looks like someone looks Spanish, doesn't mean they know how to speak it, and vice versa. Someone goes on to like what is a look. Just because someone looks a certain way, it means that they automatically know how to do something, or not know how to do something. And so she found that to be really interesting, and it's something that happens. She said quite a bit. Where someone will assume she can speak. Now she can, but how do they know that? Yeah. Another thing that she noticed was with her kids in school, she noticed that their teachers will at first would send their assignments home in just Spanish, assuming that their parents, were only Spanish speakers. And so she found that interesting, that they assumed that because, their kids were Hispanic, that, their parents must just be, only be able to read Spanish. And she found that confusing because her kids just happened to not be able to speak Spanish. And so she would prefer that the notes would be in English, so that her kids would be able to read them too. And so there was an assumption that, of course, her kids were fluent in Spanish as well. And that's not the case. That's an assumption that, shouldn't be looked out for. It's important to get to know an individual, not just make a assumption off the bat of how you think they are, how what you think they know, what you think they're going to be like. And so it's important in any situation really to think before you speak and act, and just be aware of your interactions. Don't focus on how a person may initially appear. Getting to know someone takes time, takes patience, and takes respect. And so these are certain things that every individual in every setting should be aware of and should have a sensitivity towards.